I love coffee, I love tea, I love the jive and it loves me. Coffee and tea and the jive and me. A cup, a cup, a cup, a cup, a cup. I love Java, sweet and high. Whoops, Mr. Moto, I'm a coffee pie. Shoot me the pot and I'll pour me a shot. A cup, a cup, a cup, a cup, a cup. Oh, slip me a slug from that wonderful mug, and I cut and rub till I'm snug in a jug. A slice of onion and a raw one. Draw one.
Hey everybody, how are you today? Goodness gracious, it's November 3rd, the day after all the voting and junk that went on November 2nd. Yes, we'll talk more about that in a little bit. Welcome to the Humpday Coffee Show on queerpublicradio.com and gaytalkradio.org. My name is Tom. Thanks for spending some of your time with us, whether it be on podcast or live. We appreciate your time. Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit today. Got a few clips to play for you. Want you to know we got the chat room, live chat room on queerpublicradio.com. It's real quick and easy to sign up for, and free as well, to sign up for a membership on queerpublicradio.com where you can participate in the live chat during any of our shows. Sometimes we're even around not during the shows. You can participate on the phone line by calling 301 Talk Gay, 301 Talk Gay. Also have text messaging. If you want a text message, that's a different phone number. It is 9097 Gay 9097 Gay. For text messages, 301 Talk Gay to call live on the air. A cup, a cup, a cup, a cup. Oh, that was fun. Goodness gracious. Another day is upon us. Another hump day has arrived. We are the lucky ones. Oh, indeed we are. Yes. So, what are we going to talk about today? Oh, I don't know. Whatever comes up. You know, we never have a topic. So many people, you know, when they call in and want to know what's the topic of the day. There's never a topic of the day around here. Whatever's on your mind, we're willing to go there. Mm-hmm. Excuse me, coffee is good. So, let's see. I think I have a little note here from one of the Queer Public Radio members over in Hawaii. Let's see, his name was Kale. He had a remark about something we covered recently. It was the Clint McCance story that we did where we played the Anderson Cooper AC360 show clip where Anderson spoke with the gentleman and got the gentleman to state publicly on the air that he was going to resign from his position of the school board over there in, I think it was Arkansas, where he wrote the hateful comments about LGBT community members on his Facebook site.
CNN weeknights 10 Eastern.
You've written some really terrible things. You called gay kids who killed themselves because of bullying fags and queers. You wrote that you like to see gay people die. Do you really hate gay people that much that you like to see them die?
Anderson, I made some very ignorant comments. Did not realize just how ignorant they were. I've went back and looked over at the I would never support suicide of any kids. I don't support bullying of any kids. I posted that on down further in my post that I hated it, for those kids, that they felt so hopeless.
But you
was the only place they had to turn.
But as you know, I mean, in the writing, you sound like a bully yourself. I mean, calling
Yes,
kids
sir.
fags
Yes, sir.
and queers, those are the words of a bully.
I was, like I said, I used some really strong language that, and it wasn't correct, and it was too emotional. I don't. I've got 2 children myself, and I love them dearly. I've got a wife I love dearly. I don't agree with bullying in any shape, form, or fashion. I don't agree with it for any children. And the words I used were unfortunate, and they're, I should have picked different ones, but it can't be taken back. And all I can do now is extend my apologies for my poor speech.
What do you feel like you're apologizing for exactly?
It was over the top, Anderson. It was I just went too far with it. I don't really believe anyone should commit suicide. I don't feel that way.
I want to ask you just some of the specifics. Use those words like fag and queers. Are those words you use a lot, and do you think it's acceptable to use those words? Or do you understand why those words might hurt a gay kid in your school district, or a kid who's not gay but is being called those words?
Sure. I completely agree with that. I know they're hurtful words, and like I said, I picked the wrong words to use, and used them poorly. I didn't bring honor to what I was about.
Do you? I mean, obviously you've thought about the words, and you clearly reread this now. But I mean, do you have any idea of the pain that you may have caused, not just to families and friends of kids who kill themselves, but the pain and fear you've caused to kids, maybe even your own school district, who are being bullied or who are gay or who don't feel safe telling anyone that they're gay?
Anderson, that's a what if. I don't know. I know it was like I said before, I know my statements were too harsh. I don't agree with the language I used. It was out of control, and it does look like I was that I'm a hate monger or I'm a horrible person, and that's not me at all.
Because you did say you like it when gay people get AIDS and die.
That was, Anderson, once again, that was in response to some comments that were made, and like I said, I used the wrong language completely.
But just for accuracy's sake,
I don't wish death on anyone.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask. Do you want gay people to die?
No, I don't.
There are some who are going to see this and say, okay, look, you're saying you're sorry, but are you just sorry that you got caught? I mean, if no one had said anything about this Facebook post, would you have reread it today and said, gosh, this was horrible?
Anderson, before this ever got to where it's at, I'd looked at it just because of some emails I had gotten, some posts on there. I like to take a look at myself, and I'm a big enough man to admit when I say something wrong and I did this time. I made some pretty bad statements, and they were too strong.
Clearly, the response to this isn't just because you said these words, it's because of who you are. You're the vice president on a school board. I mean, you oversee,
right.
kids in your school district, and I think that's
right.
Clearly what's at the core of their reaction to this. Education officials in your state at all levels have condemned what you said. They said it doesn't reflect their values
right.
and what they're trying to do in the schools. They said they can't fire you, but that you can resign. Are you going to resign from the school board?
I am going to resign from the school board. It is to help my community, to help my school. I don't want them to receive bad press or have a distraction because of some ignorant comments that I made. If they decide later, year, 5 years, 10 years from now to vote me back in, if my constituents want that, then I'll run again.
Do you have anything specifically you want to say to parents of kids and friends of kids who have committed suicide after being bullied?
Yes, I would like to extend an apology, especially to those families that have lost children, not just gay, heterosexual, all children that feel like suicide's the only way out. It saddens me, but especially for those five families that have just recently lost children. I've brought more hurt on them with these comments, and that was never my intention.
And Kel said these words regarding that report. He said, I'd just like to leave a message for the queer-hating idiot on the last Gay Talk podcast. I think he is an idiot, and this is how hate speech is taught to our next generation. Teaching kids to hate others solely on the basis of sexual orientation, whether real or perceived, is not right. He claims he is sorry, but in my opinion, once a hater, always a hater. And if he didn't mean what he said, then he shouldn't have said it. I have been wearing my purple ribbons now for about a month, and I feel we as a community need to do more to let these poor kids know it does get better. I am currently working on putting together a grassroots local purple ribbon campaign in my local community because I feel this is something we must do to curb all these suicides. And he ended up with just my 2 cents. Sorry to ramble on. Oh, Kel, no way. We appreciate your 2 cents. I told him that. That was a message he left on Queer Public Radio. Okay, quick rundown on the what happened yesterday in politics. The U.S. Republicans, as expected, have regained control of the House of Representatives after the biggest switch in the House in more than 70 years. Republicans also appear to have regained the majority of U.S. governorships, capturing 10 in states where the previous executives were Democrats. Let's see. Tea Party-backed Republican Rand Paul has won in the Kentucky Senate race with a reported 55% of the votes cast. Harry Reid won his battle against Tea Party favorite Sharon Angle and held his seat in Nevada. Democratic Chris Coons won the senatorial race in Delaware, beating Tea Party favorite Christine O'Donnell. Democrats have retained control of the Senate. So, yeehaw, we got some fun times coming in the future, don't we? Man, that coffee's good. You know, I bought a little bit of real vanilla. Yeah. The real deal, man. It was $5 for a little tiny little 6 or 8 ounce bottle. It's supposed to be, I think it's got liquor in it. It's I don't know. It just seems like it has that. I don't know. I'll have to do some research on vanilla, won't I? But it's still not right. When I lived in South Texas, we used to go south of the border and get this vanilla. It was really cheap, man. You get I don't know, 12-ounce bottle, I think it was, for $2 or something like that. And it was real vanilla, real nice and thick. And it wasn't alcohol-y. It was just good. Excellent vanilla. We used to get it. You can even get it by the fifths and the quarts and probably half gallons, Good stuff. Used to have other friends that went down and got it. And so we'd all let each other know, hey, I'm going down for a vanilla run, anybody needs some vanilla? Hey, just a little tidbit of sweetness for your ears, yeah, right. Because they're always telling us, how much better the economy's getting, how much better everything is. And so I just thought I saw this tidbit that I thought I'd pass your direction. In 2009, for the whole year, they had 140 bank failures. So far in 2010, we've had 139. I don't know if I mentioned this last night, on the last show or not, but ExxonMobil's latest quarterly profits jumped 55%. There's a new DOMA effort out. What is this site called? If I remember correctly, it is called enddoma.org. And they actually made a little video. There's some lawyers that got together and stuff. You can check it out. There is a link on gayblogheadlines.com under the handpicked articles. States DOMA film left out in America. Legislating love, life, and LGBT. There was an interesting thing here because there's some legislation currently going on in where was it? Arizona. I'm not going to be surprised if that's where it is. Yeah, it is Arizona. And what's going on there is this group, Americans United. You hear me talk about them quite often. It's AU.org. Americans United is a watchdog organization of lawyers and stuff that kind of keeps an eye or an ear to the rail or whatever of the church-state separation deals. And there's this. They put out a press release saying taxpayers should have the right to challenge government aid to religious schools. The right of taxpayers to challenge public funding of religious education must be preserved. Americans United for Separation of Church and State has told the U.S. Supreme Court. The High Court today will hear Arizona Christian School Tuition Organization versus Wynn. It's a case that challenges an Arizona scheme that allows taxpayers to take a 100% credit for donating to school tuition organizations that fund religious and other private schools. Under the controversial program, nearly 92% of the funds collected have gone for tuition at religious schools. This setup is being challenged as a violation of church-state separation, but the case also raises issues of standing, the right to sue. Americans must have the right to go to court when tax money is diverted to religion, of course, said Reverend Barry W. Lynn. He's the executive director of Americans United. He says these groups are wanting to close the courthouse door in our faces. Of course, Arizona. Yeah, right? That's not good news. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I get tired of it too. I'm just thinking that it's the way it goes, folks. Well, moving onward, we got some good news for you. We do. Got some good news for you, and that's a good thing, right? Liza Minnelli, we always like hearing about Liza. She's got a new album out. She's got a new album out called Confessions. Kind of a jazzy kind of thing from what the article states and stuff. And I'm just glad to see it. I didn't realize she's 60 years old now. But I saw there was a little clip on the article that it's not so much about the new album that got me going. It's the little clip they had on there that I had never seen and I had never witnessed or heard about. He was honored by GLAAD, the Gay and Lesbian Alliance Against Defamation, and they gave her an award, and she sang a song. And it's a wonderful little 10-minute clip that I thought I'd share with you that I found. I thought it was a nugget, a treasure, a little wonderful piece. Hope you enjoy it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mandy Moore.
When I was starting out, some people tried to tell me that you can't be an actress and a singer. Liza Minnelli, an Oscar, Grammy, Emmy, Tony, and Golden Globe award-winning entertainer, proves otherwise beautifully. Liza has become an enduring Hollywood icon and a very real symbol of survival to all sorts of people, because as an artist and as a person, she always leads with her heart. Tonight, GLAAD honors Liza with its Vanguard Award, which goes to a member of the entertainment community who has made a significant difference in promoting equal rights for LGBT people. Like previous winners, including Elizabeth Taylor and Shirley MacLaine, Liza is more than a brilliant entertainer. She is a dedicated humanitarian who for decades has donated her time and talent to many important causes, most notably combating HIV/AIDS. And now it is my honor to present this year's Vanguard Award to the one and only Liza Minnelli.
So much. Oh, God. Thank you, everybody. I must say, I've been given some awards in my time, but this is very, very important to me. I'm moved and I'm honored to receive this award from a wonderful organization that I deeply believe in, and that's GLAAD. We've helped so many people. We have. Love is the most cherished feeling we have. It's unique to human beings. And if anyone thinks they can dismiss love through politics, they're nuts. They can't. I've always thought that great misunderstanding creates great fear. And any man, woman, teenager who has felt terribly different, and I have felt that way myself, should learn that terrible is not what they should feel. Look, I'm not a politician. I'm a humanist. I know about the human heart, and the human heart must be honored. I'm not really good at speaking. I'm very self-confident. I'm sweating like a horse up here. But I am trying to look all glam, and I'm going, ooh, inside. But I can sing. And so I thought... I'd like to sing a song. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the man who's going to accompany me, Mr. Mark Shaman. Oh, thanks. Happiness. Now, this song is a song that was written by one of my favorite writers in the world, by Charles Aznavour. It's a beautiful song, and it also reminds us of how far we've come In a great part thanks to Glad. All right, you'll understand in a minute. My mom and I, we live alone. A large apartment is our home in Fairholme Towers. We have to keep us company, 2 dogs, a cat, a parakeet, some plants and flowers. I help my mother with the chores. I wash, she dries, I do the floors. We work together. I shop and sew and cook a bit. Though she does too, I must admit, I do it better. At night I work in a strange bar, impersonating every star. I'm quite deceiving. The customers come in with doubts and wonder what I'm all about. But leave believing, I do a very special show where I am nude from head to toe. After strip teasing, each night the men look so surprised. I change my sex before their eyes. Tell me if you can, what makes a man, oh, man. Round 3 o'clock or so I meet with chums to have a bite to eat and conversation. We talk and empty out our hearts on every subject from the arts to liberation. We love to pull apart someone or spread some gossip just for fun or start a rumor. We let our hair down, so to speak, and mock ourselves with tongue-in-cheek and inside humor. So many times we have to pay for having fun and being gay. It's not amusing. There's always those to spoil our games by finding fault and calling names. Always accusing. They draw attention to themselves at the expense of someone else. It's so confusing. Yet they make fun of how I walk and imitate the way I talk. Tell me if you can, what makes a man, oh, man. My masquerade comes to an end when I go home to bed again. Alone and friendless, I close my eyes and think of him and fantasize what might have been. My dreams are endless. We love each other, but it seems this love lives only in my dreams. It's all one-sided. Though in this life I must confess, the search for love and happiness is unrequited. I ask myself, what have I got? And what I am, and what I'm not. What am I giving? Yet answers come from those who make the rules that some of us must break, just to keep living. I know my life is not a crime. I'm just a victim of my time. I stand defenseless, but no one has the right to be the judge of what is right for me. Tell me if you can, what makes a man, oh, man.
I can say about that. And now you know. Now you know why I had to play that for you. I was blown away. Never heard the song before. I was just like, sometimes I just feel like I'm the last one to know. Yeah. Wonderful. And in case you didn't, I just felt like I had to throw that out there and share it with you because that was so awesome to get some positiveness, to create more positivity in our world. Yeah, that's me. Thanks, Liza. That was wonderful. Thank you. Oh, I remember it wasn't so many months ago we were talking about how the economy and everything was causing problems, and there was an article that came out of Florida regarding AIDS drug program in Florida. Evidently those programs are partially funded by the federal government and partially funded by the state government. And I'm thinking the bulk of it, from previously when I spoke with George about it previously, he seemed to be of the mind that it was all state. So I'm thinking I'll buy that the state does the bulk of it, but I think there's some federal funding in there as well that helps. And kind of like the roads thing. The roads, when they build roads, there's federal funding that helps states with roads, and especially interstate highways and stuff like that, but I don't believe they pay for all of it. So anyway, in Florida, after hearing all that news, the most recent news article that I saw just yesterday was that Florida has dropped 350 patients from its AIDS drug assistance program. Yeah, of course, they're uninsured. It's a federally funded program, and there's evidently been budget cuts, or there is some type of budget crisis in that program. Yeah, I think it's just the numbers. Probably the numbers keep growing, and probably the funds don't, kind of thing. I think that's a shame, because that could we're talking about something that could mean death for some of these people if they can't get their medication. 350 being dropped from it, they get their medication from that system. That's scary stuff. There was this one came to us from the UK. This story, which I've heard of this. It's a celebrity kind of story. There's an actress, I believe she's an actress named Gwen Stefani, and her, she's now married to this gentleman named Rossdale, Gavin Rossdale, and I believe they have 2 children together. He's when he was 17 years old, he had a quote-unquote homosexual love affair. Yeah, with a musician named Marilyn. I believe, maybe not a musician. Marilyn was her name, his name. Yeah, I'm not sure what what. Yeah, I apologize if I offended anyone with what I just said there, because I'm not sure where Marilyn identified. Anyway, when they were in their teens, evidently, at least when the Gavin was in his teens, had an affair with, and they've always been hush-hush. They've always denied it for years and years. Well, now a photograph has surfaced, which is kind of shocking, because Marilyn evidently had been keeping it quiet all these years, not to make a fuss, out of respect, blah, 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 and it's stated in the article that now the Gavin is using it. When Marilyn admitted it, Marilyn was labeled a tattletale, and now Gavin is using it for self-promotion. Interesting, huh? how things have changed, huh? Yeah, I guess it wasn't self-promotion 30 years ago, huh? Yeah. I thought it was interesting, and I had to make a few people on Twitter kind of. I mean, this got retweeted quite a bit when I tweeted this fact that I found, because I knew I had heard rumors, and so this is an apology and a correction and a clarification all in one whack here. I mean, boy, you're getting your money's worth on this one, aren't you? Okay, those of you who listen to me have previously heard me state that the United States was the only NATO nation which did not allow openly gay men in the military. So, that's incorrect. That's incorrect. I was wrong. It happens. I'm human.
I'm sorry, so sorry. Please accept my apology. I was too blind to see.
Yes, it was another instance of me being lazy. Just taking someone's word for something, because I saw it somewhere and somebody said something, and I was like, well, can you believe that? And I think, sometimes when you hear things and you want to believe it, yeah, that's your self-imposed power of suggestion, I guess. Not a good thing. So I was wrong. The United States is not the last remaining country in NATO nation, to not allow open gays in the military. No, I was wrong. That's not even anywhere close to being right. It's sort of. Okay, there's like 26 countries in NATO that participate militarily, and more than 22 of them permit gay people to serve. Then there's this whole subset of nations called permanent members of the United Nations Security Council, which consist of 5 countries: Britain, France, Russia, China, and the United States. China and the United States are the only 2 that do not allow gay people to serve openly. China and the United States. So the United States is standing with a communist country. Things that make you go, over in the UK, there was a Christian couple that has been foster parents to, I think it said 15 previous foster kids. They're 65 and 62 years old, him and his wife. And they've been denied. Or actually their views on homosexuality were questioned. Their Christian beliefs, of course, is what they're stating, prevent them from accepting homosexuality. And there's a court case now over in the UK involving this couple of Pentecostal Christians. Like I said, they provided care for 15 children previously, and when they applied, the social worker raised concerns over their attitude towards homosexuality, and the couple agreed to withdraw their application. Evidently, then they decided to seek clarification. of sexual orientation regulations and the Equality Act to determine whether their traditional quote-unquote beliefs exclude them from becoming foster carers. So, the decision it doesn't state. It's just an ongoing case, evidently, over there. If you want to read more about it, check out gayblogheadlines.com and scroll on down there. It's a UK Christian couple denied as foster parents for views on homosexuality. The Prime Minister of Italy recently badmouthed gays as an excuse for his personal inappropriate relationship with a teenage girl. Yeah, that it's better that at least he was heterosexual, kind of thing. Yeah, at least it was a heterosexual. I got to get the Prime Minister of Italy. I got to give him the award. Yes, this is your award, sir. Then there you are. Well deserved. Ah, goodness. They had an issue up here in the northeast, and this involved, I believe, a pizzeria. It was at a place called Yankees Pizzeria, evidently run by a Muslim family, and one of the there's two brothers, I believe, were working there. I'm not sure if they're the owners or not, but the younger brother evidently got into it with one of the a customer who evidently just happened to be gay, and they had some issues. The gay man got punched in the face. I know. See, I just laugh at everything. People that don't understand me go, God, that's not funny. I'd come from one of those families, that someone slips and falls and trips or, hits their head on something or stubs their toe or finger. That's funny. Yeah. Doesn't mean we don't love you. No. It's just funny. I don't know. You gotta laugh. Laughter's the best medicine in the world. I try to tell. But, I don't think that gives you reason to dismiss serious things, just because we laugh doesn't mean, sometimes, what do you want me to do? Show no emotion? Cry? Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's an emotion. What can I say? Maybe someday someone smarter than me can explain it to me. I don't know. It's just my reaction. All I could do is be honest, be myself. But a good thing came out of this issue that the gay community and the Muslim community there are actually binding together over this, because they're trying to deny that words were said in anger. That doesn't mean we need to make it a hate crime. He says. They don't have an issue with gays. The older brother said that they have customers and gay friends, and it was just an anger thing. And all this started over the price of a slice. Yeah, the customer threw the pizza at him. Yeah, I don't think that's quite. I don't care. If you, it's come on. I mean, if you want to be treated respectfully, and I don't care if you're heterosexual, if you're homosexual, bisexual, transgender, intersex, whatever, if you're part of the human family, if you want to be treated respectfully, you should probably act respectfully towards others. Craziness. But I'm glad it's bringing them together in the end. Evidently everyone's getting over their puffy selves. Mhm. You know, we never hear enough of anymore about the AIDS quilt. Uh, I think the AIDS quilt is an awesome thing. From what I understand, though, the reason we don't hear so much about it anymore is because it can never be ever. There's so many quilts in the AIDS quilt that there's like no place where it can be totally displayed. Evidently, from what I've heard, which sounds ridiculous. It sounds ludicrous that there isn't one place that the whole AIDS quilt could be displayed. Uh, you know, who knows? That could be some kind of monetary reasons behind that, or the way I heard it, it was space issues. That there's no one place that can rent you a space big enough to put the whole thing together in one space. So it's seven local AIDS quilts in the Key West and the Florida Keys are going to be on display and available for viewing on November 13th. And I think that's awesome. It's going to go display in a Duval Street shop called Graffiti at 701 Duval Street. 7 Key West panels that feature the names of local residents who lost their battle with AIDS. Yeah. See, well, and to give you an idea on the space thing, I mean, the panels are 12-foot squares, each one. And they're going to have 7 of them. Pretty awesome. Let's see, the quilt panel. Quilt was, according to this article, the quilt was started in San Francisco in 1987, and it now includes 91,000 names and weighs 54 tons. It was last unfurled in its entirety at the mall in Washington, D.C. in 1996, and it covered more than 1 million square feet. The quilt was nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize in 1989 and remains the largest ongoing community arts project in the world. Yeah. Awesome stuff. Check it out. Of course, for more information about the AIDS quilt, you feel free to visit aidsquilt.org. Yes. Pretty awesome stuff. I think I went there a couple times. I was researching and looking for some quilts, and I actually found my lover Scott, who passed away from his battle with AIDS, HIV in 1991, has a quilt. Yeah. Angels in America, I was interested to see the article on Angels in America. You know, Angels in America is one of those movies that if you've never seen it, it's a must-see. It really is. It's rather lengthy, I'll warn you now. But I'm freaking out because I have it in 2 parts. I think it's like 2.5 hours for each part or something like that. And I watched it last weekend, I believe it was, and then all of a sudden I see a theater review on Angels in America. I'm like, awesome, awesome. And in the theater, I imagine it would have more impact than a movie, but the movie was pretty awesome. That's my only exposure to it thus far is through the movie. So But I know I've only been to a couple theater productions in my life. I know that's a bad thing. But the ones I've been to were like, wow, impressive. As long as I can hear the thing. See, I'm hearing impaired, so that becomes an issue. Although I realize now that lots of them have hearing assistance devices or something like that. I was interested that in Malaysia, I saw an article come out of Malaysia saying that the film censors are allowing a production company in Malaysia to go ahead with a quote-unquote a film that has gay characters in it. But the industry there, the film industry there in Malaysia, the censors are requiring in the film that the gay characters either need to suffer, have this negativity heaped upon them, or they need to die. Okay. I guess that's progress, huh? Yeah. Let's see. Oh, I was shocked when I saw something about here. It said make gay sex legal. It comes from some African leaders. I was like, no. Senior African figures are urging for homosexuality to be decriminalized to help the fight against AIDS in Zambia. Finally, people, somebody is waking up. I'm telling you, folks. You know, the Rolling Stone thing. Now, not the Rolling Stone from the United States, but a recent rag that is being published over in Uganda. I'm sorry, Africa got mentioned here. I am going to go there. Yeah. You know, I spoke with, let me see here. I think it's gayuganda.blogspot.com. Yes, that's what it is. The gentleman that runs it goes by the name Gug, G-U-G, or at least he did when I spoke with him on the air here on Gay Talk Radio, I should say, back in, it was either January or February of this year. And you can check out that show in the archives if you so desire. Anyway, so, you know, I thought it would be interesting to see what he had to say, and I hope you know what I'm mentioning here is the Rolling Stone rag of a magazine that's recently started publishing over there in Uganda within the last few months is obviously trying to make a name for itself, trying to get itself out there where people want to buy it so it can make a buck, and I'm sure it's very popular over in Uganda with all the hate that goes on over there when you have a country that's, you know, quote unquote roughly 80% or whatever illiterate. Then yeah, so it's they did lots of pictures when they had 100 pictures of gays on that Rolling Stone magazine recently, and then they published again with more pictures. And So I thought I'd go over to Goog's site. Also, the federal a judge over there in Uganda, evidently a high-ranking judge, has ordered the paper to stop outing people in their magazine. So we'll see. The magazine, I think, has claimed that it will continue to publish, but do so in a different manner, which doesn't directly contradict the court order. Anyway, we shall see. So I thought I would run over to Gug's site, the gayuganda.blogspot.com, and see what he had. And he had an article about they're talking about the magazine, and he said it was more than one magazine. That's what we've only evidently heard about one. I don't think he mentioned the other ones, but he was talking about three, I believe, in his. Yeah, 3 papers had outed some people. He says he learned of this Sunday when he was out with some friends. And he talked about a gentleman. He told a little story. A personal story, he said, in which he happened to get involved, and I thought it was kind of awesome story, and kind of reflective, because it speaks to something I think so many here can't understand. This happens in the United States too, but it doesn't have the same catalyst to get it going. He tells a story, Gug tells a story of a guy called Moses, who this is in the United States at this time. He said that they did an interview with him on Metro Weekly where he talked about his guardian, the person raising him, might have suspected him of being gay. And he says, no, people would comment on my behavior and my lifestyle, and it would just stop at that. He said, but this one day he was in the office accessing the internet, and he was communicating with his boyfriend, and his guardian called him into the office abruptly, and he was using the computer in the secretary's office. So he knew he was coming right back, but he said as soon as he went to the office, the secretary had went to the computer evidently right after he walked up from it, and she read the mail. And she said, asked him, was he on the computer? And he said, yes. And she asked him, what's this? And he said, what's this? She said, and well, what do you think it is, and what's the problem? And said the secretary, they asked him, did you know her very well? And he says he did, that she had worked for his guardian for many years, and she was his friend, and was part of that group who worked in that office, and he was part of that group also. But when she saw this, it ended in her intimidating him and threatening to report him to his guardian. Of course, she knew the consequences if she reported him or to the school officials. By then, he was also a student, and he'd earned his bachelor's degree and decided to enroll for his master's in public health. So he was teaching and a student at the same time. The rules and regulations, he states, were clear about homosexuality. The moment they get you, you are expelled from school. If you are an administrator or staff, then your services are terminated. The Metro Weekly paper asked him, would they inform the police? And he stated, no, they would just expel you, just get rid of you. They then asked, did she tell your guardian? He stated, she did not tell my guardian, but she did tell the dean of students. I happened to go to junior school with the dean of students. She knew who I was. We used to talk and joke. She called me to her office and she said, Moses, you have a problem. He stated, what problem? She stated, no, you have a problem. He stated, no, I don't have a problem. The paper asked him, when she called you to her office, did you know it was for the accusation that you were gay? He stated, no, I did not know. I thought it was for our usual conversations we would have. But with her tone, the way she spoke, I thought, this must be something different. All of a sudden, of course, my mind went to that. Then she said, you need to confess, and we have to have some counseling for you. I said, I have nothing to confess, and I don't need any counseling because I don't have a problem. The paper then asked him, were you frightened? He says, definitely. I was thinking of my job, my career. If I'm expelled, what next? It was going to be catastrophic. So I said I didn't know anything. She said that if I didn't confess to her so that she could put me on counseling, that she would report me to the administration. I think she was trying to put herself in a better position. If she didn't confront me to confess and the school administration knew about it before she reported it, then she would be in trouble. But I denied everything. In the time since graduation, even before that, my guardians, aunties had started telling me, you have to get married because you are the firstborn and you need to bring a wife who is going to be at home in the village. So when all this was going on, reporting me to administration, then the marriage issue also came in. It helped. I went to my guardian and I said, okay, I think I need to get married. He said, I'd never seen her, but my guardian knew her dad. They went to school together in Kenya. He's also an Anglican priest. They organized it. I saw the girl for the first time, and we talked. She was ready for marriage. My guardian called her and told her she would have a great responsibility if we got married. Moses is the head of that family, and you will need to take care of those people. She said, fine, I have no problem with that. The paper asked Moses, how long did all this take? He said it was just a short period of time. Everything was just happening. Boom, boom, boom. The dean took about 2 months to report me. It was in bits in just half a year. When the administration called me, I said I was not gay. The dean of students was given the task of following up the case. Then it was the counseling department. I kept reporting to those people, so there was no way they could terminate my contract because they had no proof. I expected the secretary to submit the proof, but she did not. When it came out that I was to get married, I think she was like, no, let's not. So she didn't turn it in. And the paper asked Moses, did you get married? And he stated, I did. Thanks for that posting. Gug had a few comments he made about it. He does a lot of good work over on his blog over there. Check him out, gayuganda.blogspot.com. And he is a gay man living in Uganda. So I think he lives in Kampala or somewhere thereabout, but not sure. And we don't want to know either. Remember the Tyler Clementi tragedy? One of the young man that some of his classmates supposedly put a video of him on the internet. Although they actually claimed they didn't put it on the internet, that they were the only ones that actually viewed the video, that they didn't tell anybody about it. But I don't know. I don't know. But in an update to that article, they have now quit Rutgers. Yeah, they're no longer students. Oh, goodness gracious. Let's see, is that all I had for you today? I'm not sure. There was a survivors march, a clergy sexual abuse survivors march in at the Vatican, and the police actually blocked them while they were marching on the Vatican. Let's see, I know someone out there said, how many were in the group? Let's see if it tells them. 100 survivors, 100 survivors of clergy sex abuse. Yeah, the police blocked them from reaching St. Peter's Square, but they later allowed 2 protesters to leave letters from the abused at the Holy See's doorstep. They also left a dozen stones near the obelisk in St. Peter's Square to mark a symbolic path so other survivors might know they have company in their suffering. There was a candlelight protest as well. Quiet whispers are no whispers no more, or whispers no more. Awesome. This was interesting because I always like when I have hear this stuff from other countries, because sometimes other countries have a little bit different outlook on our country, and plus the fact that they're not, under the thumb of some of the media moguls in our country. And this one came out of Australia, and it was yesterday that they, interestingly enough, that they aired a documentary about hypocritical, homophobic, closeted U.S. politicians. Oh. Good one. In Washington State, there was a pastor that might say took it like a man. I don't know how else you want to put that, but he fessed up. He fessed up and he came clean that he raped a boy for over a 6-year period. This guy was a 51-year-old Washington State pastor. His name was James Watkins, and he was sentenced to 18 years. So I had to dig a little. I said, oh, my goodness. Wouldn't you know it? Wouldn't you know it? Yeah. He was a Baptist. He was a Baptist pastor. That's why. Because we all know if he was Catholic, he would have just been reassigned to another diocese, right? I know that's not funny either. Gosh, y'all are so sensitive. Okay, where else was I? Is that it? Let's see if that's all that I got for you today. Yeah, that's. Oh, we had a follow-up on the Anderson Cooper thing that we talked about the other day. Anderson Cooper spoke with Dr. Phil after that. Dr. Phil said he's not buying Clint McCance's, what Dr. Phil termed as a non-apology. Yeah, I think Anderson Cooper kind of touched on that during the interview as well, and when he stated, "Are you truly sorry for what you said, or are you just sorry you got caught?" Or got called on it, or whatever he said. Yeah. There was an interesting article that desegregation offered lessons for the gay troops debate in there. I'm not going to, get all crazy about it there, but I thought there was some correlations or parallels that were kind of interesting in the article. One gentleman, Thomas J. Woods, stated, some of what he saw that were commonalities, and he said that people need. When people, he basically went through the article to kind of put a nutshell on it here. That he went through most of his life because he's an elderly gentleman now. He's 78 years old, right, and a retired postal worker in Georgia. And, he went through the Marine. He said he wasn't respected until all the desegregation of military, and he went into the Marines. And he was respected. In fact, I believe he stated that the drill sergeant said that he will be respected. And he said that was the first time, that he felt, he didn't believe it. He was aghast. He said it gave him a lot of pride. That's the first time he actually felt like he was somebody. Because that's the way he was made to feel, because he was black. So it was kind of an interesting story, because it drew the bulk. It's a rather lengthy one. So I'm just going to let you go check it out if you want to. A point of view from a 78-year-old ex-military black man that states that the desegregation of the military offers lessons for the whole gay troops debate. Cool one, right? All the best to you and yours. We'll see you next time. Check us out at queerpublicradio.com. Remember, random acts of kindness. Love your brothers and sisters. We are a one human family.
I love you, and you, and you. Oh, and you too. And don't forget him. I love her, and him, and her, and him, and him, and her. I love you all. Adios. Have a nice trip. Bon voyage. Farewell to thee. That's all, folks.
We'll leave the light on for you.